Alright, so I got some questions on my last video about how to change the color from the faders tab in Blackout. As you can see here, I've got these set up, these top movers here. I got four intimidator spots. I have them on different presets here. So I have my main effect running here, and then I have a separate fader for just changing the colors of that particular grouping. And I like to do it this way because if I'm in the middle of a live show, or if this was on set, it could be an on-set kind of setup as well. I'm able to just change the colors of a certain group without changing the color of everything or changing the look. So I've also got these top pars here. Let's say I wanted to just change those. I could change those as well. And then just turn everything back off. And I'm back to my original look that I had in my fourth fader here. So let me show you how to set this up in a brand new project. Alright, so now I have two different looks set up. I've got my green look here that's got a little bit of motion on the movers, and I've got this green-red look that's just static. But let's say I'm on the green look and I want to change the movers to red or another, maybe the up lights or top lights to a different color while keeping the same motion and everything, just changing the one parameter. So the way I like to do this is I like to just set up another fader with just the color information of whatever group of lights that I want to change, so I can just add that on while the one look is playing. I just add it. It's an additive fader. It'll only change the parameter of whatever you want to change, like the color or the pan or the tilt. You can do it for different parameters. Alright, so let me show you how to create the fader now that's going to change the colors of your main sequence. Make sure you're in the look that you want playing to change the colors. Now the thing is, we only want to change the color parameters. So what I like to do is come over to table view here. It's at the top. This is going to show you all the individual parameters like the pan, tilt, and the color wheel and the gobo and whatnot depending on your unit. So I'm going to come in here to the color wheel, which is the way this changes color. There's no HSI or anything since it's an actual physical movement of the color wheel. I'm just going to come over and scroll and change this. Now you can see it's white, but the values are red, which means they're manual values, which is what we want. So I'm going to make sure those are set to manual values, and then now we don't want this effect playing in the color look. So we're going to come over to the effects. This does have an effect playing. I'm going to make sure it's off, but I'm still in my look that I want. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back over to the pillbox. I'm going to record this, make sure I'm clear, and then you could record this as the whole board, or you could record it as just the individual fixtures. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select just the fixtures I want for this color control parameter, record that into a new sequence, which is going to give me a new fader, and then I'll just call this white, since it's on white for the color. And then I'm going to make sure I select manual values only and selection only, so that it'll select only those fixtures and only the manual values for the color we just selected. Now I've changed to green on my capture there. If I go back to my faders page, we can see we have a new sequence and we got it labeled there. We can just hold the sequence and we can relabel this instead of the basic sequence 2. We can just name it color. And then I like to change all of my faders to high priority for this kind of thing. You can also use just LTP, or you can go up even higher to HTP or super. But with the high priority fader, then if you had something lower, you still got some room on the bottom end and you still got room on the top end. I just like to do it that way. And then I like to change the trigger option to restart current look. So when you hit the on or off or play, it's going to restart the current look, which makes it a lot easier. Then you can also have this off when overwritten. I like to keep this on, and you'll see why later. You want to make sure additive's on, and most of the basic preset functions there are fine. So now if I come over and I start playing my green preset with the movement, and I come over and hit the color, I turn that on, you can see we changed the white, but we kept the same movement. Now if I wanted to go back and change over to green-red, I just hit the next play button. It's going to override that color fader, turn it off, and then go back to my second look in the main sequence. Now I've got the white here. If I just turn this off, turn on the second fader, you're going to see nothing really happens because it's just the color parameter. We're not using any intensity or anything, so it's not going to work unless you have a different look on and then you add that second fader in. Now you could come in and add the intensity parameters as well, but for this tutorial we're just going to keep it just the color parameters. So now what if I wanted to add another color into this sequence? Well, I could do that very easily. I'm going to make sure I'm in my second look here. I'm going to go back to my table view, select those 4 again. Actually, not that way. We're just going to select the color wheel here. Now let's go to another color. Let's go to, actually I'm going to come over to Fixture Control because it's a little bit easier to pick a color. Let's go to yellow. Well, that's not yellow. Let's go to, there's yellow. I don't know why the numbers are mixed up on this. So I got yellow. Now I can come in, I can record this again. I'm just going to make sure I'm clear and then select only what I want. Record that. I'm going to go selection only, manual values only, make sure it's in sequence 2, which is my color sequence, and I can name this yellow. Save that. Now I got my yellow in. I'm going to go back to my faders page. I'm going to turn off the second fader. I'm going to go back to my green look here with the movement, and then if I on this, now we're on yellow, and I can skim through this. Now I'm back to white. I can just off it to go back to green. Or if I have it on the yellow and I want to go to the green red, I click that, it overrides that second fader, and I'm to my second main look now. So that's a cool way to do it, where if you have a bunch of looks already set up and you don't want to make the same look with different colors, you can just add a second fader with just the color parameters of that certain grouping of lights. And then you have it kind of spaced out where you can have your different looks and then change the colors through the different faders. Kind of helps spread out the amount of looks you have on each sequence, which is nice. If you guys want to know anything else on Blackout, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like, subscribe, really helps me out. We'll see you next week.